Mr. Rex, how you doing, sir?
I am well, sir. Surviving out here in these streets. But yeah, no, all good, man. Definitely came out of a bit of a season recently, but we thank God all is well.
Amazing. Let me formally just kind of introduce, give you your, your rightful introduction. A warm welcome, guys. A warm welcome to those of you on Zoom. Thank you for jumping on. I'm sure there's many things that you could be doing this Friday afternoon, but you're here with us. And also a warm welcome to everyone associated with the Amey Finance page. Thank you for liking the page and for staying connected with us. Really, really appreciate it. And a warm welcome to every single guest that's on this live right now, especially if you're tuned in live. It's been shared by members of the Academy, so it could land anywhere. It could be anywhere right now. But what I do want to say is that if I can ask you to please share the stream, even if you're a guest, even if it's the first time that you're seeing any of our faces, I promise you that this will be an impactful interview, and it will change someone's life. So you can consider this as your good deed for the day, the good deed for the month. Even if you're watching this back on replay, you can still share it. And the good news is that it's absolutely free to share. It won't cost you a penny at all. So please do share. Especially if you've got to the end of it and you are impacted, then definitely share then as well. So a warm welcome. Today is the next installment of a series of interviews I've been conducting with I've had some really high profile guests actually. I'm still taken aback as to some of the guests I've been honored to interview. And now we have another distinguished gent. And welcome to the big interview today. Taking the hot seat in his study and on his leather chair is none other than Rex, aka 6,000 pips, Mr. 6,000 pips. But we'll get into that later. We're here to find out more about Rex. We want to, just delve a little deeper. We all know the personality Rex that we get on Zoom calls. We get a little snippet of Rex, but today we want to really get to know Rex and find out a bit about his journey here at Amey Finance Academy. Many of you tuning in have probably stumbled your way upon this page and you're not really sure what happens at the Academy. You're not really sure how this can change your life. You're not really sure how you can make an income and become financially independent through this platform. And hopefully from hearing from Rex, who, was an ordinary guy when he joined this platform, you can find out more about how that transformation can take place. So without further ado, allow me to introduce someone who I've got huge amounts of respect for, someone who is not just an important integral member, but is a leader in our organization, someone who has an unbelievable organization. And I do want to give a big shout out to the Cycle Breakers who are on the call as well. If you're on Facebook, yeah, absolutely. The Cycle Breakers, we're going to hear more about them as well. And someone who people have a lot of respect for. When he talks, people listen. So without further ado, allow me to introduce Rex. Rex, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, sir. I'm good, sir. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Let me give it back to you as well, man. Thank you for accepting the interview request. You didn't have to. You're a very busy man, so I do appreciate that. And yeah, man, how am I doing? I'm good. I'm good. As you just asked before, it was a bit of a ropey Christmas period. Because somebody caught COVID, unfortunately. Can you imagine? On Christmas Day.
When you say somebody, are you that somebody?
Nah, I'm that somebody, unfortunately. I'm that somebody, man. But thank God, symptoms were mild. I think it's that Wolverine healing factor in me, to be fair, But no, it was mild, and yes, the whole family got it, but thankfully we're all good, in recovery, self-isolation's done, and the best thing is I was still able to work on my own endeavors during that time. So, we'll hear more about that, obviously, as we go.
Amazing. So give us a bit about your background. Tell us a bit about Rex. What's the journey of Rex? Go from right from the very beginning, when you popped into
Right. So mum and dad met in Ghana. No. Let's fast forward, but that's a long time ago. So Ghanaian, born and raised in East London, Forest Gate. I went to a faith-based school, so a Catholic school called St. Bonaventure's Roman Catholic School. I was head boy there, and then I went to their sixth form, and then was head boy there also. I then went to Manchester University. So I met a few of the people that were on the call today, actually from that university. I studied computer science. So that was like a whole 4-year program because I did a year in industry and I went and worked for IBM for 1 year. Came back and then I graduated in when I was, I can't remember when it was actually, 2006. And so about 22 years old. And obviously you have high hopes in it. You have high hopes. I'm going to come out. I'm going to take the world by storm. I think I know what I want to do. And I got a job, which was great. Like that job was, I don't know if you remember back in those days, but basically the upper echelon were like the city groups and the investment banks, and they were starting like 35Ks and all sorts. And I got a job with a sort of startup, and I was getting paid like 27K, and I was like, yes, I've made it. Like I applied for this job as a technical consultant. And then as I got in there, I realized that they wanted me to be a C# programmer. I was like, bro, I did like a lesson on C#. Like, man, don't really know how to program no C#. But then long and short, that job lasted for about a year and then was made redundant from that job. And then I basically was like looking for work for about 9 months, got approached by a recruitment agency, and I got another job. And this job was with a company called Real Networks. And basically, when I got the job, I was like, yes, back on the market. But the problem was, they were like, yeah, it's an internship. I said, what do you mean? He says, yeah. So you got to do a year first before you actually get, where you need to be. And so a man had to drop back down to now 16K. I said, hey, God, what are you doing? Like, come on. Okay. 16, ouch. Oh my goodness. But the thing is, it was like, you know what? It's one of them humbling moments, man. Let's just see what happens in it, see what happens. So I stayed in that company for 6 years, learned the ropes and all the rest of it. Then things started to change because I got approached by a recruitment consultant. And they were like, hey, Rex, are you looking for a job? I said, no. He said, hey, are you having fun where you are? I says, yeah. He goes, okay, we've got this other company that want to speak to you. I'm like, I'm not sure. Spoke to my wife. She said, go on, see what happens. I went and saw what happened. And basically I landed in a company that doubled my salary, and it wasn't 16K, thankfully. Like doubled my salary 6 years later, and I've been in that company since. And so right now I am a cloud engineer for a company called Fastly Limited. Basically, they are a content delivery network, just making sure that end users get a seamless experience, using the internet, because there's some countries that obviously don't have the best connectivity. So it's all about, putting the content as close to them as possible. And I manage a few accounts there. So that's the kind of story, I think, up into a nutshell.
What are the sort of challenges along your sort of working history? I know you mentioned about being made redundant. Was that a particular low moment, or were there others?
So, you know what it is? First of all, so I'm a Christian. I've got some hardcore belief that it's all going to work out for my good in the end, right? But ultimately, yeah, when you get knocked, when you have that conversation, it's like, yeah, Rex, this ain't working out. I was like, ooh, that's not good. Like, because that's an attack to the soul. Like, it's not working out. I've been doing well. What's going wrong? So yeah, sort of being made redundant the first time, or being redundant there, was a challenge. When I got that new job where I was on 16K or whatever, my manager left for like after the first 6 months or something, and all of a sudden I'm the only IT guy in there. So everyone's looking at Rex, like, and I'm thinking, right, what do I do? So that was a sink or swim moment. And, you just don't like the heart palpitations and the tummy turns and all those moments where it's like, oh, have I got to do this myself? You're going into work, you're dreading it. And also, but when like, for everyone who's in the world of work, after a while, you're like, this is a bit long. This is a bit long. Like, I've learned for 4 years, for even longer than that, in terms of sixth form, further education, higher education, you come out, and now you're like, this is your life. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure there's more to me than just this. Do you know what I mean? And like, so that realization that, at the end of the year, we're going to have a conversation about performance increase or whatever it is, salary increase. And like, Rex, it's been a hard year, credit crunch, rare. So what we can afford to do is a 1.8% increase on your salary. I think you'll find that after all the work you've done this year, that will be
let me write that down. 1 point what?
1.8%, bro.
Wow. And what was inflation that year? Do you remember? Well, no, but we're laughing, but it's not funny. It's actually not funny because that's actually one of the biggest issues with the working world. That inflation goes up exponentially compared to the increase that to what wages go up to, and that's the reason why a lot of people end up living paycheck to paycheck, because in reality train fares going up, the cost of bread is going up, childcare is going up, everything's going up, but your pay went up 1.5%.
Bro, I mean, it's even worse if you're in a civil service where you ain't had no pay increase for years. Do you know what I mean? And for me, it's like, wait a second, man. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. And so, whenever I do my opportunity calls, I always talk about that time when I went to Ghana and I took the book, man. I took the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that book.
When I saw it at the airport. Is that when I saw it at the airport? Was that different?
No. This is back in 2012, boy. Don't worry. It wasn't this time. But I took that book, and reading that book and basically, just having your mind blown and expanded to the point where it's like, everyone comes out of school and education thinking that you're just going to have one job, and that one job is going to pay for all of your streams of income, all of your expenses and everything like that. One of my goals this year is to have as many streams of income as I have expenses, because it's that deep. Like, just in terms of, think of it, like, you just have one pot. Everyone comes and takes, and then you've got to try and manage with your little piece at the end. Like, that's not life. And, it can cause some real serious issues, man. I think I realized that I can't save my way to financial freedom or to generational wealth. It can't work that way. There's something else that's got to give. And so when I read that book and it's like, spoke about investors and business owners, then it's like, actually, do you know what? There is another way. It's just not taught. Do you know what I mean? It's just not taught. We've all gone to school, never learned nothing about this. And so my thing is, okay, now that I know this is available, I'm going for it. And that's effectively what sort of landed me here, to be fair.
So we read the book in 2012.
Yeah.
What action did you take from reading it? Because you didn't join the academy until 2019 or 20.
This academy didn't even exist at that time. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So but you're fired up. You've read the book. Young Rex is fired up. What did you do? Because you have to take action, or were you just fired up and you didn't do anything?
No. I'm not one of them guys, but I'm definitely a doer. And so basically, I think after reading that book, I followed up. So I don't know if I'm pretty sure you're familiar. Robert Kiyosaki has like a 1-day course where it's like a taster session of what the follow-on is from the book.
Sorry, was it one of those courses where they say Robert Kiyosaki is going to be there, but when you turn up, he's not there? and then when you get there, you're like, "Where's Robert?" And then you look on the flyer, and it says in small print, "Robert Kiyosaki may not be there."
I was waiting for Robert, boy. Not one day. What's going on? Where's Robert?
The whole day. When I went to the whole day, I was like, I'm meeting Robert today. This is going to be so good. Oh my God. Sorry.
Oh, man did not show up, boy. I think it was Connaught Rooms in Holborn. I think that's what it was.
Yep.
I went there and man, it was good for what it was because ultimately there was a follow-up course. And the follow-up course was about property, essentially. Like the key thing for him was, you can amass wealth through property. And there's, many ways to buy property, whether it's lease options or buying below market value, all these different strategies to buying property. But ultimately, it's with using other people's money. That's the basis of it. And so when you went there, you got gassed, man. You got gassed. Like they were like, call up your credit card company and ask them for a credit increase. I was like, yeah, like BNA, MBNA, And the thing is, to be honest with you though, like it was like a 3-day course and I went to all 3 days. And although it was, full of gimmicks and whatever, it was pretty good. But what I will say is, man, you got to be careful sometimes, boy, because I almost parted with 10K, almost took a loan for 10K. It was very irresponsible. It was actually my wife at the time who, well, to be fair, I actually got rejected from taking that loan. Thank God. I'd even speak to she was my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, about that madness. And it's like, yeah, obviously once you get this money, you can put it down as a deposit or whatever. Ultimately, and based on the return, you can pay the bank back, and you just live with the profits to do whatever you want. Very high risk maneuver, man. And I almost went for it. It was only got the saving grace that stopped me from going that far, because that could have had some proper serious consequences. So the whole point is I took action. I went on this course. I definitely learned some things that I still implement to this day. But ultimately, I took it too far, and I was saved basically from making a big mistake.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think since then, man, the antenna's just been up. The antenna's been up. I don't want to call it other companies, but there was another. Can I call it other companies? No. Yes. No. Basically, there was a company called Genistar. I'm not sure if you heard of Genistar, but they're all about financial education for families and stuff. I was there for a year, but that was so much work for very little return, in my opinion. You go to people's houses, you're there for an hour plus, you give them a presentation, just for them to say, yeah, I'll think about it later. What do you mean? I've just invested.
Nobody got time for that.
Well, a whole hour into this presentation, you're gonna tell me to think about it? Nah, it wasn't for me, man. So jumped out of that, and then if we fast forward to 2019, then my boy Mace from my secondary school pinged me, and he was like, Rex, man, I'm making this money, through this company. I'm like, what's all this about? And so it was piquing my interest. Eventually, I came to his presentation. I met yourself. I met Bryony. You gave me the presentation, and that was how Rex came to Amey Finance. And that is when I actually found the right method to do what I need to do, versus all the madness from before.
So you're at this presentation with Mace, and then you heard the presentation. I'm assuming the presentation was fire. And what did you do next?
I know what you're asking, bro, because you love to tell this story. I tried to run out, bro. I tried to leave.
Let me get this right. Your antennas are up. Your word, not bad. Your antennas are up. An amazing opportunity has fallen in your lap. Yeah, so let me get this right. So you went to walk out the presentation. Was the presentation not enough?
I went to go and consult my wife, the head honcho in my household. I had to consult her. That's what I wanted to do. But clearly, Amey was not allowing that to happen.
No. I had to pull him back, guys. I had to pull him back. So before we get into your journey with AFA, I want to talk a little bit about financial goals. As you know, this is something I'm very passionate about. And it's because most people don't really know what they want. A lot of people, they just try to get through the day, and they try to get through the week, and they just want to get to the end of the month. And the next thing you know, a whole year's gone by, nothing's been achieved. And the reason why most people don't achieve their financial goals is because they don't set goals. They're not clear about what they want. Have you set goals this year, and what are they?
Can you see this, bruv?
Wow. You want to talk us through some of those?
I will indeed. 6-pack there is coming, boys. Coming. I'm working on it.
I'm sure I'm your inspiration for that one.
Bro, that's obviously your Photoshop right there. It's your shot. You know what this is, people. So this is my vision board. Yeah. So in terms of financial goals, one of my first things is, and don't tell my mum and dad, but I'm going to pay off their contributions this year for their mortgage. And that's because I'm now in a position where I can do that.
Guys, can we just put a 2 in the chat box to celebrate that, guys? We have to celebrate things like this, guys. People in the academy making big power moves, guys. Big power moves. Say that again for the people at the back.
So for the people at the back, basically, my parents are still paying a mortgage, and they shouldn't be. They're in their 70s. And they have working young men, you know what I mean? So my thing is, okay, let me take that burden off of their hands. I've calculated what their contributions are for the year. And I will have that amount very soon. And I will just say, you know what? Pause them payments or cancel them payments. You don't need to worry about this year. And that's going to be one of my first things I'm going to do this year. But don't tell them, Uncle Albert, I know you're on the call. You just keep that still, please.
Let me tell you, that's going to be such a good feeling. Bryony Bender was next to me when I was able to pay off my mum's mortgage from trading and retire her, sent her back to Ghana. It's such a nice feeling. So I'm telling you in advance, it's going to hit you differently.
Thank God, man. Thank God, man. And that's, come from you guys. So I appreciate you guys for that. It will be a special day for sure, for sure. Excuse me. I mean, like, there's ranks to be hitting inside this company. There's debts to be taken care of. So it's more about, getting credit cards sort of cleared off.
Yeah. Oh, is that just me or Rex frozen? Is that my end?
The actual interest is charged. So yeah, you got to be a student of the game, man. And so there was a bunch of things on here, man, in terms of financial goals. So my boy Jeff just picked up the car I wanted. He picked up the Velar, man. He picked it up, but it's all good because that whip there. So I won't be getting this year because I'm actually just going to refinance on a new car, but it's definitely the car I'm after at some stage. So I want it just there to know that when I'm in the place where I can afford it, it's another checkbox against one of my goals this year. So, oh, there was another one as well. Do you see that? It says 100K. So one thing about me that you will come to know is I like to talk about money a bit more freely than maybe my counterparts or people in my community.
Why not?
And the reason is because, no, why do I, you mean?
No. I'm saying, like, why not? Yeah, we should. You've got every right to talk about.
Oh, right. Of course. But to be honest, I don't think that it's not the norm. It's not the norm. I'm not entirely sure why, but people are secretive or don't trust, whatever it is. But because of that mentality,
it's kind of like a British culture, isn't it? We're a bit coy around talking about money,
I don't know, because I will say for my Caucasian counterparts, sometimes they're quite free when it comes to talking about money, especially if you're earning quite a lot of it. But for my West African, Caribbean counterparts, it's not quite the same. Everyone else is just a little bit more reserved. And I just think it's, there is a protection sort of, I don't know exactly what it is, but ultimately you just want to keep what you've got and, you don't want to expose it for fear that someone may do something with it. So, I kind of know that part of my purpose is to add value. So for me, it's all about, if you know me, you're going to know what Rex is into, because hopefully these things are going to be added value to your life as well. So when it comes to, back to my point. So this says 100K funded account. So some people are a bit confused about what that is. So Amey Finance offer funded accounts. So they have very wealthy investors on the platform who don't have the time, they're time poor but cash rich. And essentially, for us people who may have a bit more time on our hands, they've got a lot of money for us to actually trade with. So what Amey Finance have gone and brokered is funded accounts. So I've gone for the top one, the 100K account, and I get 75% of the proceeds and they get 25%. So that for me, again, is a no-brainer. Once you've got yourself to a level where you are competent, you can actually make these sort of moves. So we thank God again. That's an account I'm doing the test for. I'm gonna pass that test. To do that,
it's done.
Checkbox.
It's done. We've got a guy on the funded accounts making approximately 4 to 6K a day.
It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
Crazy, doesn't surprise me. Guys, we are truly trying to create generational wealth. This is not, we've got 6-figure traders. I'm reminded of Riz in our team. Mr. 2.2 mil. This is great, but what we're really trying to do is create a legacy. Doing something for our last name, and that's what the funded accounts are for, allowing people to make real power moves financially.
100%.
Wow. So you've joined Amey Finance Academy. So for those of you that don't know, Amey Finance Academy, we help people to create multiple sources of income, primarily from online trading, but not exclusively to online trading. There's some other areas as well, which we'll explore in this call. But Rex came in initially to trade online. Online trading can be described as, the buying and selling of currency online. And we do this using a broker. It's a skill. It's something that you can master, something that you can leverage, but certainly something you can make a very good income from. And that's why Rex is smiling. So Rex came on board. I want to know two things from you, Rex. Rex, I want to know how you were able to acquire the nickname Mr. 6,000 Pips. And then I want you to tell us a little bit about cycle breakers and what's happening there, and what the vision is for that organization. So first of all, why do they call you Mr. 6,000 Pips?
So to know why they call me 6,000 pips, you got to know what a pip is. A pip is a point in percentage. So basically, it's a metric that we use in the forex industry to calculate the appreciation, or the dropping of currency, essentially. So you can place any type of monetary value on a pip. So if I placed a trade that was £1 a pip and I made 10 pips, I've made £10. If I've done it and it's 10 pips, £10 per pip, then it's £100 for 10 pips. So that's basically the unit of calculation that we use. When I joined Amey Finance, I think the top sort of rank at the time maybe was 2,000 pips. And so these pips are calculated within a week. And so they calculate the amount of pips you've got versus the amount of pips that you've lost. And so in a week, I managed to amass 6,000 pips. That's right, Brandy. Rec 6,000.
Guys, can we get 6?
No. Yeah.
Let's get
that rank
in the chat box, guys. Let's get a 222 in the chat box, guys, to celebrate that, because that's not easy. That is not easy to catch 6. Guys, if I catch 100 pips in a week, I'm good. If you was to tell me right now that I could have 100 pips a week, I would be over the moon. 6,000 pips is dreamland. So can we just celebrate that, guys, by just putting a 222 in the chat box, guys? Absolutely phenomenal achievement. Someone's putting 6,000 in the chat box. 6666, guys. Just celebrate it however you want to celebrate it, guys, because it's not easy. But what I'm more proud of is not the fact that you're able to acquire 6,000 pips in a week. It's the fact that you are, able to teach as well. You're a very good teacher, and you've taught people. But how did that make you feel that when you got inducted into a club that didn't even exist?
I felt like I must be doing something right, to be honest. Number one. But number two, it's funny because I don't know, I became like that guy, if that makes any sense. It's like, oh my god, this guy made 6,000 pips, and to be honest, I was just laying low trading. Nothing's really going on. All of a sudden, your post is getting around. You're like, rah, am I considered that guy? Interesting. So for me, it's one of those like it sort of expands your horizon a bit more. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure I could push it even further. Do you know what I mean? But my thing is, like, you just want to, I'm now at a place where I'm more interested in percentage growth versus pips. I'm pretty sure I can do, 6,000 pips again. But for me, I just want to get as much P as possible. So, that's kind of where my head is at right now. But, I might try and break the rank again. You never know.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. So cycle breakers, how did that come about?
So basically, I joined Amey Finance to learn how to trade, and that was it. I wasn't coming here so basically there was a team building arm to this company, and I wasn't looking to invite no one or tell no one about it. I was just going to do my thing on my low and then tell people about it once I felt I needed to. And that time came, I think maybe 6 months or 7 months later. And I had one presentation. I told everyone, listen, I've been here for 7 months. This is what's happened. And I've tested it, and it's good soil. Like, let me know if you want to jump in. And 8 people jumped on at once. So all of a sudden, I have a team of 8 people. And it was like, right. In fact, my Uncle Ab was the first one to join, and then 7 people joined from that presentation. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? Just through different conversations with each of them, what kept on coming up is, you know what, man? And you know how it's like for us, man? We just need to break the cycle. Need to break the cycle. Need to break the cycle. And it's like, cycle breakers, man. I think Kofi Ajuman had a call, and I think he's like, who are you? Who are you? And I was like, I'm a cycle breaker.
Who are you?
Who are you? So and it just stuck. And so my thing is like that. I need you to know from the jump, as soon as you come in, like, this is what we're about, breaking cycles. It's that simple. So, I'm all about trying to break that spirit of lack, that generational lack of knowledge, or, you know what I mean? I just need to break it, because I feel like we're at a time where we're in this information age, we're at a place where we need to be leveraging, and that's all I'm about. That's all I'm about, because I got a son now. Do you know what I mean? I got a son, 1-year-old Christian. Thank you. Yeah, man. So for me, it's like he needs to start off on a better footing than I did. I'm not even saying that I started off on a bad foot. It's just a case of he needs to be miles ahead, you
Yes.
know? And so that's my thing, man. I'm gonna make sure he's gonna know about candlesticks, he's gonna know about wicks, he's gonna know about trend lines, bro.
I thought
From
you
the
did
jump.
already.
So
I
yeah,
thought
that's
I thought you did already.
oh bro, come on. You can barely say his name. Barely say his name.
I think we've got a little slight delay
Yeah,
on the first.
exactly. So
Yeah,
okay,
we'll work it out, but there is a slight delay between us.
okay. Yeah, so that is the vision, man. As my wife says, breaking the cycle of generational financial ignorance. Hey,
Woo!
that's serious, Babs. That's
What's a
serious.
wife?
I like that. I mean, you should join the academy.
Of course. Love that. The new power couple. Amazing, amazing. So we've heard the vision now. So how many people do you think will be in the organization by the end of this year?
So you tell me how many people do you need for P5000?
225.
It's
Give or
done.
take. Give or take.
It's done.
Depending on packages.
And you know why it's done? Is because the people that I've brought in are now seeing what I saw. They all came in. No one wants to build. Everyone wants to trade. 100%. I get that. Please do that. No pressure.
Yeah.
And then what happens is organically, it's like, you know what, man? Like, you know, you just want to let people know, just naturally you want to let people know. It will come up in conversation. What are you doing? I'm trading. What? How? You know, and because don't forget, these things weren't really they weren't really within arm's length. You know, before they were for front of house, you know, investment bankers and stuff like that. And now Joe Bloggs is trading. So for me, it's like I must get on this.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even about us. You know, do you know what really got me building? I was you know, Brian will tell you, I was making very, very good money. You know, before I kind of really got serious with building. I was doing okay trading wise, and I realized it wasn't really about me. It was about the impact. You know, there are people who need this.
Yeah.
There are people who need to know how to trade. They need to know how to use some of our services like the Lauren and the harmonic scanner. They need an extra income. They need to get back on their feet after taking a knock in COVID. People need this. And when my upline said that to me, I realized that I had a mandate placed on my life to impact thousands and thousands of people. And that's why we do it. It's big. So the people in your organization, it will get to the point where they'll be like, you know what, I need to share this with people around me because they need it.
And you know what else? Just to jump off the back of that, I think when you have someone, so when you mentorship's big, you know, for me it's big in this academy. When you have people within arm's length that you can see have done it, so yourself, Des, or Bryony, or David Talbot, or people on this call themselves, when you've seen people that have done it, and all you said, like amongst the many things you've said, one thing you said is, be here this time next year. Yeah. There's a lot in that statement. There's a lot in that statement. It means you're going to go through a lot. You're going to go through hella high water. You're going to go through a lot of peaks and troughs, but ultimately go through that and be here next year and you'll be better for it. And so my thing is this, it's like, I went to uni for 4 years to learn how to be a computer scientist. It took me 8. So back then it was trying to hit 30 before 30. It took me 8 years before I even could smell 30K. 8 years. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to a guy who gets paid 25K a month. A month.
I'm trying to stay low key.
You see what I mean? And that was done within 2 years. So my thing is this, I've got an example right here, right now. All I got is, how did you do it? And I'll follow. It's that simple. Bryony's doing the same thing. I will follow. So people are going to see that I'll be here next year, you know, and it's been a year already. And I'm confident enough to now go and start to trade some big 100K account. It's only 1 year. You know what I mean? And so my thing is, I don't know about you, but, you know, man's getting older. And all of a sudden, time is like speeding up. I can really remember this time last year, I can really remember it. And so basically, if the year goes by so quick, then, you know, you're going to be better for it. And time is just going to look like it hasn't even moved at all. But all of a sudden, you're a year better. So me, you know, I have 2 extra streams of income. I've got even more than that now, thank God.
Jeez.
I've got other streams of income. This time last year, it was just full-time work, and a property maybe, but other than that, it was now there's a few more coming.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. So I want to hone in on one of your income streams,
Yes.
which is residual.
Yes.
Residual income. So every single Friday, Rex, if you ever see Rex on a Friday evening, he'll probably have a smile as long as the River Nile. Okay. A smile like a Cheshire cat. And the reason why is because he would have just got paid his residual. You see, the people in our academy, we get paid something called residual income. Every single Friday we get paid on top of the other incomes. Rex is going to have a funded account, but he's still going to have his residual income. Do you know how much pressure that takes off of your bills when you have money coming in every single Friday? Guys, if you're listening to this on Facebook or you're on Zoom and you get paid a weekly residual income, can you just put a 777 in the chat box? Let the people see what is happening, guys. We get paid residual income. My life has changed dramatically. Every single Friday, I get paid, just over, £6,000. It makes Fridays very, very, very sweet. Residual income, guys. If you're not already, guys, you have residual bills. So why don't you have residual income? It makes sense. Residual income is making money long after the work has been done.
Yeah.
And what I love about you, Rex, is that in you, I genuinely see a chairman. I see a chairman, and I know it's already done. And I know I'm not alone in those thoughts, guys. If you agree with that statement, if you wholeheartedly agree with that statement that Rex is a chairman in waiting and it's just a matter of time, can you just put an 888 in the chat box? Because I can't wait to celebrate you as a chairman. I really, really can't.
So the thing with chairman is, like, if I'm honest, so I'm confident it's going to be done, and when it happens, I'll just be like, right, told you, or whatever it is, because the way my mind is now. And one thing I've got to say as well is, personal development is something that is very overlooked at times. But I got to say, man, one thing the academy does is pride itself on its personal development. Everyone's chiming in, and it just puts you in a different paradigm, puts you in a different space, where you're thinking nowadays. I'm not saying what's the worst that can happen, what's the best that can happen. Let's start there. Do you know what I mean? It's a mindset shift. And so when it comes to chairman, it's going to happen. Like, I came into last year, with no residual income at all. And now I have extra streams, and I've got people in my team who want to build as well. So all the building doesn't even have to happen for me. So I put on my vision board, platinum 5,000. That's what I want. But who knows? Who knows, man? A lot can happen in a year. So that's the goal, minimum. So let's see what happens. But it's going to happen, without a doubt.
It's definitely going to happen. Can someone do me a favor and just tag Rex in the comment box on Facebook? Because yesterday, after yesterday's interview, there were people trying to get through to Uncle Albert, who incidentally is Rex's uncle. But I've just realized there was no direct way of them getting through to Uncle Albert. So if someone could just tag Rex in the main stream, that would be awesome. I want to give people the biggest piece of advice I could give anyone right now, and that's to get connected to or stay connected to Rex. If you're listening to this Facebook Live and you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for a coach, you're looking for someone who can guide you and help you to create income streams with our platform, then look no further than Rex. This guy can teach, he can coach, he's surrounded by an amazing team as well. You're going to be in very, very, very good hands. How many people can you take on right now as part of your mentoring program?
Boy, bring them all. To be fair, bring them all. But there is space. So it's not even about a figure, because I make sure you have to systemize these things. So you obviously get direct access to me. But at the same time, I'm always all about leverage. A lot of people are working full time, have children, are busy, and so if someone has done something that I'm about to teach you, or are the expert in that thing, then of course, jump and listen to their session. Any questions, I am right here. You know,
absolutely. Any other parts of the academy or any other income generating things that you've got going on that you want to share with people?
Bro, I mean, what isn't the academy doing? What isn't the academy doing? So the academy had this product called ECX, and it's all about e-commerce, drop shipping, essentially the buying and selling of products online. And the beauty about drop shipping is that you don't have to hold any inventory, right? And so it's another game changer. Like, the industry's massive and climbing. So I already have a business outside of Amey Finance called Asare Clothing Limited. There you go, one of our products right there.
Wow.
And basically, you know what, we're already leveraging, e-commerce. And so what it taught me is definitely a lot more about, Facebook advertising and marketing, and how to, almost, make sure that your sales are completed. And so all these things that I'm learning in the academy, I'm just funneling through to, well, first of all, my own sort of page, and then through to this business as well, which is another income stream, right? So that one there is a bit of a no-brainer, because we made the mistake back in 2009 of starting the same business, but then we bought so much product and the demand was small. So all this product was just left there. And so we've done the same thing again, but this time the product is created on demand, and the overheads are just next to nothing. So it's another no-brainer. It just makes sense, And the good thing is the academy has a course that teaches you step by step, like to the point where it's like, click here, download this,
Idiot proof.
So, yeah, it really is, man. Dummy's guide too.
Love that.
I think was there something else? I mean, I've mentioned the funded accounts, of course.
You've got your
trading itself.
You've got your Hyperfund wallet as well.
Oh my God, almost forgot. So basically, people, as you know, crypto blockchain is the new thing right now. And basically Des has brought us into another company, basically, that if you buy one of their packages, let's just call it, say $1,000, whatever, they guarantee you 0.5 to 1% growth every day. So, and the thing, you can buy another package and basically compound your money. And so I've already started compounding, and I only joined maybe 9-10 days ago. And so that's another income stream, and with the way that Bitcoin and crypto have just been appreciating and have been so bullish of late, and it's a long-term investment, it's another no-brainer. And this one is passive. I'm just sitting there, let it do its thing, let it build up. So yeah, boy, that's another one. Jeez.
You're chopping from all angles.
Well, as I say, man, as many incomes as I have expenses, and I have many expenses. So that's the goal, bro.
The only thing I'm thinking right now is Valentine's Day is coming up. You're gonna have to get Anita something really special.
Hey, listen, her birthday is the 31st of January, so I got to get that one first, and then Valentine's Day, bro. Wait. So yeah, send me some ideas.
You can't be chopping like this and not be treating your wife.
I'm hoping she's happy, boy. Hopefully she'll confirm.
Yeah, Jeffrey's got a good idea actually. Maybe that range she's been dreaming of.
Mate, she's got a Mac, to be fair. So let her just sit tight for now. Sit tight.
Wow.
It's coming.
Love that, guys. I wanna do something quite special on this call. What I'd like to do, because there's normally 3 types of people that we get on these calls. You've got other entrepreneurs, people that are in the space, they kind of get it, they understand it, they're like, yep, let's go. Entrepreneurs. Then you've got people who are curious, people who maybe this space is new to them, and they're used to the old ways. And the thing is, the old ways, guys, are no longer working. The old ways are not working. Myself, I used to be a secondary school teacher. I taught in secondary schools for over 12 years. It was the way that my mom taught me, that we studied hard. You got A's and B's at school. You went to university. You got a good degree. Then you got a good steady job. And then that good steady job would see you well. That was the blueprint my mom gave me. And, God bless her. That's all she knew. She didn't know any other way. And I did that. and I ended up living paycheck to paycheck. It was horrible. The old ways are no longer working, guys. Back in the day, you could be a factory worker and have enough money to put food on the table, clothes on the backs of the whole family, and buy a house. Factory workers could buy houses, no problem. Like, it wasn't even a big thing. A 2 up, 2 down, easy. Now, the things you have to do to get on a property ladder, you know, just to get a little 25% share is a rigmarole. Share scheme, 25%. People in one bed sits, you know, and only owning a fraction of it. It's tough. The old ways are not working. And here we are with the new way, with online trading, with cryptocurrency, with blockchain, the future. So those of you who are curious, by all means, connect with Rex, slide into his DMs. He should be tagged into this Facebook stream. Okay, so look for Rex and slide into his DMs. If they do that, Rex, you may have to go into there's a with Facebook, there's another folder that's not your main folder. It's like it's almost kind of like a junk mail, people who are not connected to. So you might you might need to check that one. But slide into his DMs and say, I'm curious. Just say, I'm curious. And that way Rex can connect with you and get you more information, connect with whoever you need to be connected with, and then you can do whatever you need to do and you can come on board. So you're the curious people. But there's also a third type of person who I call action takers. They're the 3%. 3% of the population, they're action takers. They're the kind of people that see the movie as soon as it comes out. They're the kind of people, you know, as soon as the new iPhone's out or whatever the phone is, they're queuing up for it. You know, people that just they're action takers. People that see something, they get it, they understand it. They're like, let's go. Success loves speed. If you're like that, if you're one of those success loves speed, I get it, I want to go, let's go. And if you're like that and you have £190 to invest in yourself, £190 to get started in this business, if you're like that, then I want to welcome you to the platform. I want to connect you with Rex. By extension of Rex, you know, you get myself, you get other powerful leaders that are on this call as well, like Bryony Bender, Sherelle, Mace, and so forth. You get other powerful people, all a big family. So that 190, I would like to offer you a £30 cashback for you action takers. I want you to slide into the DMs and I want you to say, I'm ready. I'm ready. Say, I'm ready. Einstein said, nothing happens unless something moves. Action takers. The difference between successful people and the rest, according to Bob Proctor, is that successful people take action. You know, timing is everything, guys. So it's 190 to get started. And if you do come on board and it's 190, guys, you are getting incredible amounts of value. Incredible amounts of value. But for the action takers, I want to give you £30 off of your subscription. It's in the form of a cashback. So you pay the 190, and then after your 7-day cooling off period, we will give you that as well. So the code for that, Rex will facilitate that refund, and the code Rex is going to be 001 Rex FB times 3. It's only for the first 3, by the way, not all the action takers. You know, if there's an avalanche of action takers, I could be broke here. This is coming from my pocket. Okay, this is not a company funds. You know, this is my kids' inheritance that I'm investing here. So yeah, the first 3 people, guys. Rex, I'm gonna give you. I just looked in the chat box and I saw a car that Jeffrey put. I was thinking, I hope he doesn't mean I have to give them a car if they're action takers. I'll just clock that. So I want to give you the final words, Rex, to close us out. What would you like to say to the people? You got all kinds of people on this call right now. You got people who are frustrated. You got people that are angry. You got people that are sick. You got people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Talk to them, Rex. Give them a message.
You know what you need to hear? What you need to hear is that you work hard enough as it is. Look into the camera, man. You work hard enough as it is. And so I'm pretty sure you're working for someone else, you know, that hard. How about you work that hard for yourself?
Wow.
You know, how about you invest in yourself and you just try, you know, to see what happens. Just that phrase there has led to many great moments in my life, if I'm honest with you. How about you try and see what happens? You know, give it 3 months, give it 6 months, guaranteed you're going to know more than you did from this point now. So for me, it's whether, you know what, even if it's not this company, like invest in yourself. That is the best decision you and anyone else around you can make from this day forward. Stand. So the rest is up to you guys, man. God bless you and thank you for your time.
Wow, 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 wow. You've heard it from the main man himself, guys. It's been an incredible interview. Time's just flown. Guys, if you've enjoyed this interview as much as me, can you just put a 111 in the chat box, guys? Because I feel like I've got to know Rex a lot more now. Amazing, amazing, amazing. The Fresh Prince of Ghana.
Thank you guys for joining. So you lot can go back to work now.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Guys, if you're if you're on this call and you are part of Amey Finance Academy, maybe you've been inspired by this interview and you'd like to do an interview of your own. I'm looking for guests for the big interview, the series, the big interview. Would you like to take the hot seat? If so, guys, it doesn't matter if we're not even connected. You know, it's absolutely fine. I've done interviews like that before with people that you know, it's an interview, so I will get to know you during the interview. No problem at all. So just reach out to myself or to one of my PAs or EAs, and let's get this booked up, guys. Let's get it booked up.
Man.
Let's make it happen, guys.
Yeah,
incredible,
thank you very much, man. God bless. Have a great rest of the day, and the rest of you guys also, man. Thank you very much.
Let's go. Let's make it happen, guys. Take care.